Welcome into the Echo Sportscast number 52. I'm Ben Sargent.
I'm Jackson Bull.
Well, football is officially back as Algonquin started their season with a non-NDA clash. They faced the Sudbury's St Benedict Bears as they prep for their NDA opener versus West Ferris happening tonight. We do have highlights from that game as well as a conversation with head coach Ryan Desbiens on what his hopes are for the upcoming season.
We sat down for a conversation with Nipissing Lacrosse head coach Jason Rudge as they opened their season with a thrilling win over the Guelph Griffins.
Speaking of the Lakers, their home opener for both the women's and men's was on Wednesday evening. We have some highlights from the women's game as well as the results for the men's.
And our baseball day in the Bay was another success despite the rain. The event raised £1,700 for the North Bay Food Bank.
All of that and more following a word from today's sponsor, Source for Sports. It's almost that time of year. Early mornings at the rink, fresh notebooks and backpacks, and a community gearing up for another great season of varsity sports. At Source for Sports North Bay, we're proud to be part of it all. Whether it's finding your kid's first pair of skates, gearing up for tryouts, or outfitting your team for the season ahead, we've got you covered. Because here, we're not just a sports store, we're neighbors, coaches, teammates, and fans. And we're proud to cheer you on every shift, step, and stride of the way. Visit Source for Sports North Bay at 1321 Fisher Street and let us help you along your way. The Algonquin Barons opened their season last Friday evening against the St Benedict Bears from Sudbury under the lights at Omichel. The Barons showed up on both offense and defense en route to a 21-0 win. I picked up some highlights. I was there for just the end of the second quarter and the entire half of that game. Dane Meyer opened the scoring with a 52-yard pass to Matthew Desbiens shortly before halftime. And Loic Ryan intercepted a pass and took it back into the end zone to take the score to 14-0. The defense continued to be a big strength as they stopped the Bears from scoring, and Matthew Berube sealed the outcome of the game in the fourth quarter with a touchdown reception from Matthew Desbiens. Speaking of Desbiens, he led the charge with 263 total yards. On the defense, it was Miguel Burnett with 2 interceptions, while Wesley Strength Dupuis, Jake Dore, Matthew Sagan, and Ethan Brooks led the defensive charge. Algonquin is back in action against West Ferris tonight to open up the senior NDA season at Omichel, 7 p.m. It was a really good game. It was cold.
Yeah.
It was so windy. There were so many times that my tripod almost fell over as I was trying to get footage.
Really?
Yeah, because I brought my kind of flimsy one.
Okay.
Because it's nice and small and compact. And there were a couple of times where I was watching my camera almost fall over, and I was like, "Oh, this is bad." But it was a really exciting game. Algonquin looks super strong.
Yeah.
Like defensively, really, the Bears, like St Benedict in this case from Sudbury, they didn't really get a chance at seeing any type of scoring.
Yeah, with the NDA copying the CFL rules, I think they get limited downs, and so if you don't move the chains in time, if the defense is too tight, you go nowhere. You don't get the chance.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Algonquin, of course, there's only 3 teams this year as well for seniors. So Ferris, Schollard, Algonquin, and that means that each team gets a bye every week, and then they're like 2 teams play each other. So I think Algonquin, they won last year. They look really good. It's going to be really interesting to see them play the Trojans. I was talking to Mark Robertson, who was also at that game. A lot of Ferris and Scholar people were there. But yeah, a chance to talk to Mark Robertson, and he was just talking about how it's going to be a really fun season, but it's going to be an interesting challenge, I think, for all 3 teams.
Absolutely. I think Schollard was ultimately defeated last year, and I think they had some seniors move on, including the quarterback, so we will see what this season brings for them as well.
Yeah. But one of the good things is I did get a conversation right after the game with Ryan Desbiens, who is, of course, the head coach, I believe, of both junior and senior at Algonquin. And we've talked to him a couple of times last year, but it was good to catch up with him a little bit. He was trying. It's always fun trying to get coaches because they bus to Omichel. They're like yelling at everybody, get stuff off the bench, and you're having a conversation, which was great. But another thing that was super interesting was they're taking videos and photos, but they actually had a drone that was flying around. So they had a guy who was flying a drone around, and I'm assuming they were using that for like footage.
Game footage, yeah.
Game footage.
Tape. I know Coach Debs is a bit of a celebrity in the North Bay football world, and so that's really exciting to hear that they take it seriously, and it's a program. He's developed a strong program, and the biggest thing is the kids buy in, and they have fully bought in and committed to what he's trying to do, and look at the results. It's
interesting. So I only played junior football, and this was many years ago. This was it would have been 2010, so 15 years ago. Didn't play senior, but this was at Ferris. They take it very seriously. When you say it's a program, they will go up to you and say, we want you for senior, which is obviously a little bit of a problem now with, the population of some of these schools going down. And I know there's still five junior teams. So it's like, I think Franco and Chippewa don't have senior teams. So it'll be nice to see them if their program develops into the seniors. But the three schools that are in it, they take it very seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is interesting. But let's throw it over to the conversation that I had with Ryan Desbiens. All right, well, we're here with Ryan Desbiens, the head coach of the Algonquin Barons senior football team. And, well, a big win. How's it like having football back?
Oh, it's great. It's, it's my favorite time of the year. It's awesome, and this was a great night. A little windy. I think the wind had a little bit of a factor today, but it wasn't hot, and there was no rain. So, I mean, it was a great night for football.
And you guys, so this is an exhibition game to kick off the season. Can you tell us why you chose the teams from Sudbury here? Why did you choose them to play?
Well, yeah, it's not a conference game. It counts for a provincial record. It's just something last year. We St Ben's and us, we got together for a scrimmage here, and then one in Sudbury, both teams, juniors and seniors. And then this year we decided, hey, you know what? Let's play an actual game. Let's do it. Let's do not a conference game. And a lot of teams down south do that, to get more games in, right? Because unfortunately we only have 3 teams here, so playing the same team over and over again, it's nice to play somebody else in an actual game situation. Scrimmages are great, but it's not the same as an actual game.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one, you seem pretty confident. I believe it was 21-0 was the score to end things out. I came in about the second quarter, halfway through. At that point, you had 14 points already on the board. But now when you look at it, how did you feel the game went? Your defense looked really solid, of course, not giving up any points. What was your assessment as the coach here on this game?
Offensively, we had lots of yards. Only 2 touchdowns offensively. We had lots of yards, probably over 300 yards offensively. But, I mean, again, the wind kind of hampered a bit of the passing game, and we like to pass, and so does St. Ben. So, I think it was a factor. I think it might have been a different game. It could have been, a heck of a lot closer if we had normal conditions. But I'm just amazed. I'm amazed, and I thought the defense was outstanding today. We had guys come in and out, and guys were subbing in, and everybody showed up to play. We made a big goal line stop on 3rd down and goal from the half-yard line. We had grade 11 Miguel Brunette have 2 picks today. First game at senior football. You only played football one year last year. We had guys going in there all game, and they played well. So for us, being able to have different guys going in and not having to rely on the same guys all the time is just awesome. It just gives you depth. And we're a small school. We're 420 kids, so for us to have depth is a luxury.
So the NDA season kicks off next Friday night here under the lights at Omichel against West Ferris. What is your hope for that game? Are you looking to start off strong? And how do you think you're going to kind of approach that game against the Trojans?
Well, for us, again, you saw a bit of it here today. It's just to stop getting stuck in the mud. You get a groove going, you start driving, you get a couple first downs, and then you get a penalty, and then you drop a pass, or then you miss an assignment, right? It's just to get more crisper and to run everything a lot cleaner. I mean, it's going to be a great game. West Ferris they have a lot of good athletes there. I know they got a lot of kids who played in grade 12 last year who are back this year, and they're going to have a really good crop of athletes. So it's going to be a really good game, and I hope the weather holds out, and I'm looking forward to it.
And before we let you go here, who are the couple of the people that you need to watch on this team this year? Maybe give me a couple of senior players who are returning, and then a couple of young guys.
Well, I'd have to say the last year we had 2 of our grade 11s won league awards. We had Dane Meyer, our quarterback, who was the offensive player of the year as a grade 11, and Mathieu Dane was our quarterback number 2, and then Mathieu Desbiens, number 32. He played some running back, some quarterback later on. He was the league MVP last year, and I just say our receivers receiving core overall, like skill wise, I think our offensively we're pretty skilled. We got those two, but then we got Owen Shillington, who was an all-star last year as well. Luke Braceland, who probably would have been had he not got hurt. We add and then we add Matt Berube at running back. He came back from last year and he was a godsend today. He probably averaged 7 yards a carry on the ground, so that was great too. And in terms of the younger guys, I just defensively, our returning guys, our anchors are Matt Seggs, our middle linebacker, and Max Dufresne. He's our safety. Those are our two great, our two repeat 12s. Those are our defensive anchors. And looking for the newcomers on defense, we have Evan Smetana playing safety. He was our team MVP last year. And we also have Loic Ryan today, number 9, who had a great game, made some key tackles, had a pick 6 there in the first half. It was awesome. Offensively, we have a slew of guys coming up from last year, about 2 or 3 guys who can play. We have Rowan Grant, 85, our H-back, and we have Lucas Pinnell, same thing. He was the offensive player for the junior league last year. So yeah, like we got some depth this year. And you know what? I was also proud of the way our offensive line played today, because last year we were very blessed with probably the greatest O-line, D-line I've had in my 20 years of coaching across the board. We were just from every position down. So everybody was kind of worried about that, but I thought our offensive line and our defensive line were outstanding today. I thought number 5, Jake Doré, last year, who played offense, who made the switch to defense, was lights out. Okay, and number 56, Wesley Strength as well.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the win tonight, and good luck with the rest of the season.
Thanks a lot.
So Lakers Lacrosse started last weekend at the Nipissing Field on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon. Lots of people in attendance. Great turnout as the Lakers were on top at one point in the second quarter and leading into the second half. Guelph ended up coming back in the second half, but Nipissing held on for a 14-12 victory.
Yeah, it was a really fun game. So I went up there. I saw a bit of the first quarter, a good portion of the second quarter. I think I saw a couple of goals in there. I know I definitely got one as I was walking away near the end of the second quarter. I heard another one. It was a loud game. They come out to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I was unaware to the culture that I guess youth sports as a whole, but especially the men's lacrosse had developed at Nipissing. And I went last year with one of my buddies who needed to be there for his course. He had extra credit opportunity, and it was like a family. It was the whole stands were packed.
Yeah, and so you go to Nipissing?
Yes.
So I believe you're in teachers?
Yeah, in the concurrent education program.
Yeah. So when you're in at the university, did you find like the spirit, like the sports thing, a big part of the culture there? Especially maybe like when I was at Canadore, it didn't feel like sports were a big deal because it was a lot of trades and like I was in like the creative side. I was in radio, so we were in that kind of side. So not saying that sports wasn't big. It was just, I don't think it was as much of the culture necessarily as maybe it was at Nipissing.
At Nipissing, definitely some of the bigger sports, the more well-known programs are pushed on and like represented more with the men's hockey specifically, or men's lacrosse, men's soccer, because those are our bigger programs at Nipissing. But I think in the education center, not as much. But if you go to the RJS Athletic Center, it's very much evident.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting going to college. So like my experience with college was, because I lived here, it was, you just kind of went up, you went to class, and then you left. I wasn't ingrained in the culture of like living on res and doing all of the kind of activities and stuff. I was just there for the diploma basically, and the people that were in my class. So I guess I had a bit of a different experience than I think some people who throw themselves a little bit more, or obviously who don't live here, who have to throw themselves in there. But the one thing that I always felt like was there was a big passion for a lot of the Lakers sports, and they do a great job. Canadore does a great job too. Like I've seen a lot of their Instagram, like when we had Stephen Hong on, they have a great basketball program that's, they're super up with like social media and stuff like that. But I see the Lakers stuff a lot on social media and their sports teams and constantly doing all these different things. So it definitely does seem like they build a lot of culture around the sports world. Yeah,
I would 100% agree. I also live at home at the moment, and so I don't have that residence experience. But often the talk is who's playing that night, or whether it's women's hockey or soccer, or let's go do this and make a night out of it. Even on the weekend where it could be nightlife, let's start with a sports game.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a little bit more of the Lakers stuff coming up. We still have soccer, some of the other things that are going on in the sphere of Lakers sports. I don't think Canador's stuff starts until end of October, I believe, is when most, if not all the sports start from what I've seen. But we are seeing some stuff. Soccer's obviously already started. I think basketball is starting to get up. So we do have a little bit of that. But first, we got a chance to sit down with Jason Rudge, who we were just talking about lacrosse. He is the lacrosse head coach. And obviously with their big win over Guelph, we had a really cool spotlight interview with him about a lot of, he educated us.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. He educated us about lacrosse, right? For the most part.
Yeah, it was a great interview, great talk with him. And he explained it to us like we had known nothing about lacrosse, but he also dove deep into what lacrosse really is about and some of the specifics that are need to know. What
did you learn? You must have learned something.
I absolutely learned a lot. I learned the personnel is 9v9 or 5v5 indoor. I didn't know that it was different numbers. And he mentioned that the defenders had much longer sticks than the attackers, which I had no idea either.
Yeah. I highly recommend going out there. It's super interesting. Again, there were people like across the way who were parked up the road.
College Drive.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
And I was like, and it was funny because I was driving by there. I'm like, you can't park here. There's clearly a no parking sign. But people were just chilling out there watching this stuff happen. And again, it's a gorgeous field. But even then, like, it was funny because some of the footage, you probably will see it, but some of the footage I had, there was the flag, like the soccer flag was in the way, and there was nowhere else to stand. There was nowhere else to go. It was so packed, like up the rail and everywhere. I'm like, I'm just gonna have to work around this flag.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Yeah, move your head to the side.
But let's throw it to a small snippet of our conversation that we had with Jason. So you guys kicked off your season on last Sunday. So this is coming out Friday. So almost a week ago against the Guelph Griffins in an extremely tight 14-12 victory. And there was some, I know on the email threads that we had as we were setting up this interview, there was a couple of interesting pieces of that. So why don't you start off by telling us why this was such a big win for the program?
Well, first of all, it's only our second ever victory against Guelph. They are, one of the powerhouses in the league that, they went undefeated last year in the regular season, 10-0. But the biggest one this year, and I think kind of spearheaded our guys and got our guys excited, is they were pre-ranked 3 going into the season, and the league pre-ranked us 12th. So to take down the 3rd ranked team in the first game of the season really sets a tone for what we were able to put together this year and where we want to be.
And that's 12th out of how many total?
14.
14, okay.
14 teams.
So is this, maybe tell us a little bit about the history of the program itself. How long has the program been going on for? How long have you been there? Maybe some of the successes that you guys have or are hoping to have?
Yeah, so I've been there. I think this is my 8th season. Again, COVID puts a wrinkle on my memory and brain and all that stuff. But I joined the team halfway through the 2017 season. Kind of been with them ever since. We've had some very positive seasons where we make it to championship weekend. I think we've been there 3 times. One year we hosted. And then unfortunately we had a big graduating class a couple years ago and our numbers got lower. We had a 1-9 season, and then last year we were 5-5, slowly getting back up to where we want to be, right? With a small school, but a powerful program.
I was looking at the scheduling, and it looks like 5 home games in September and then 5 away games as we bleed into October. I was just wondering, with the short season, how that affects the players during practice. Like, how much emphasis is there that we have limited practices, we have limited time together? How does that look?
Yeah, it definitely makes it challenging, for sure. We're lucky that a lot of the guys come in from playing summer lacrosse, wherever they are, senior, junior, mostly box lacrosse coming in, so they're ready. But we get together late August, 3 weeks together, and then our first game And we just got to kind of hit the road running. And the biggest thing is I always emphasis with them is that, we got to take care of our bodies. We got to be athletes. The team that, in a 10-game season, the team that can stay the healthiest is usually the one that prevails at the end. And that's our goal, right?
Do you guys have multi-sport athletes at all? Like, does anybody who play in lacrosse also play soccer and other programs? Maybe not that overlap with each other, but other programs in the university?
No, but we have had athletes that played other sports join us. We've had a guy that came to school to play basketball and just didn't work out for him. He joined the lacrosse team. We had a cross country runner join our team, but usually it's pretty hard just due to schedules, right? We've had a couple hockey guys that wanted to do both, but just the overlapping in the schedule makes it hard for them to commit to either sport. So no.
Yeah. So that's a fantastic answer. Getting into the specifics of lacrosse, I know it's a very physical sport. I would say most similar to hockey. Would that be correct, or more similar to football in the physicality level?
Physicality for sure, probably hockey. There's lots of similarities to basketball as well, just with positioning and footwork, more in the box game than the field game, which are totally two different sports, but still lacrosse. And all our athletes play both. They play field lacrosse for us at school, but most of them play, junior box lacrosse anywhere across Canada, depending on where their home is.
And the box lacrosse is the indoor version of the lacrosse? Awesome.
Yep, that's the indoor.
What are the differences? Because I remember when I was young, you'd watch like the NLL, so the lacrosse league. The Toronto Rock were I guess our closest team for us. And I remember watching some of those games, and as you were saying, Jackson, they're usually in an arena. How is that different from field lacrosse? Is it smaller? Is there different strategies that people play?
Yeah, there's definitely less players on the floor in box lacrosse, as it's 6v6, right? 5 runners and a goalie. In field lacrosse, we're 10v10, where it is 9 runners and 1 goalie. But when you bring it into an arena with boards and you're getting the bounce and the rebounds, smaller nets, goalies have bigger equipment on. So it's very similar, but at the same point, it's very different. Just as a different style of game, you're not really allowed to cross check in field lacrosse, but in box lacrosse you can. So like most people will think lacrosse and they'll think the traditional indoor game, which is a lot tougher. Cross checks, a lot of pounding. It's super quick as you have 30-second shot clock. Field lacrosse is more what they call the gentleman's sport, but it's still super tough. You got guys out there with 6-foot long sticks, the defenders that are, using them to their advantage. I'd put it that way, and try to, steal the ball or take the ball with some hard slashes and things like that. So.
North Bay's turning 100, and what a time to be here. From the buzz of the Heritage Parade to sunset concerts at the waterfront, the city is alive with celebration. And you know who's right in the middle of it all? Homewood Suites by Hilton North Bay. We're proud to be a part of this milestone moment. Whether you're coming home from a family reunion, planning a gathering with friends, or just simply making the most of everything the Centennial has to offer, our doors are open. Stay in a spacious suite that feels like home, with a full kitchen to cook in, room to relax, and a space to unwind after a full day of fun. Are you hosting something bigger? Our event spaces and amazing local partners like the Grand and Stock Transportation make it easy to bring people together. Best of all, they're just steps from the action. The fireworks, the food trucks, the music, the laughter, it's all right here. Celebrate 100 years of North Bay with us. Use code Centennial to save on your stay anytime this year. Be at home with Homewood Suites by Hilton North Bay. Join the party today at 495 Oak Street West or give us a call at 705-495-3000.
Dear North Bay, you've always been more than a place on the map. You're home to me. This is where I built a life with my husband, raised our kids, and taught in local schools for over 24 years. I'm proud to be part of this community. Earlier this year, my world shifted. After living with anxiety, depression, and PTSD for much of my life, I reached a point where I couldn't keep going alone. Walking into the emergency department at the North Bay Regional Health Center was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But what I found there changed everything. A nurse who made me feel safe, a crisis worker who truly listened. For the first time in a long time, I felt seen. That care gave me hope, and it inspired me to give back by supporting local healthcare so that others in our community can access the same compassionate care I did. If my story resonates with you, I hope you'll consider supporting the NBRHC Foundation. Please visit nbrhcfoundation.ca or call 705-495-8125 to give. Because mental health is health. With gratitude, Tiffany Van Meer.
Both men and women's Lakers soccer teams had their home opener on Wednesday evening against Laurentian at the Nipissing Field, and I was there for some of the women's game where they took care of business in a 5-0 win. They had all the possession in the world. It was a very dominated game, especially in the midfield. It was a very strong showing from the women's soccer team. As I did end up missing the opening goal. I was trying to find parking, finally found parking. I was there early before the game kicked off. I finally found parking, and it's at 5 p.m. on a weekday. So if you've ever been up to the university, you understand the struggle. As I was getting out of my car, I hear the horn and the goal scored by, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. But I did catch the second goal. Courtney Pullman ended up scoring that one off a corner that after it went off ahead, ended up in the crowd, and she put it home. She ended up scoring 2 on the evening. Anika Nolt also had 2, and Alicia McMurrin had the final goal as well. The victory improves the women's record to a perfect 3-0. They won both games in Ottawa last weekend, and they are looking to continue to be perfect on the season as they're traveling to Sudbury for a rematch against Laurentian on Sunday at noon. On the other side of the coin, the men's team ended up with a 0-0 draw as they are still looking for their first win of the year. In 4 games, the record sits at 0-2-2. All close games, though. 1-0 defeat, 2-1 defeat. So they're close, but they just haven't been able to come away with the win. They're going to be looking for their first win on Sunday when they play at home at the Nipissing Field at 2:15 p.m. They are hosting TMU.
Lakers basketball is back in preseason this weekend as both the men's and women's team gear up for the start of the OUA season at the RJS Athletic Center. The women play tonight at 6 p.m. against Algoma and Sunday at 10 a.m. against Lambton. The men play Saturday night at 8 p.m. against Lambton.
That'll be big. Basketball is a huge thing there. I think is the RGS Center, because I don't know all the different buildings. That's the one that's right beside the field, isn't it?
Yeah, that is right as you get up to College Drive and turn left at that light. It's the first building you see.
Okay. Because I saw a lot of people kind of going in and out. I think there was a way, we're probably talking like 20 years ago, I think there was like volleyball, like we would take volleyball camps and stuff. Yeah. Pretty sure that's where it is, because that's where all their gyms are and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's essentially it's 4 gyms, two long gyms and then 2 smaller gyms that they split up and still do camps there and do all their home games.
Because Canadores is like in the actual school.
Yeah, it's in the corner, the bottom corner.
Yeah, down the stairs that no one likes going down.
Yeah,
down. I do remember that. Yeah, those stairs that I don't know who designed those, but anyways, that's kind of curious how Nipissing doesn't have. Do they have gyms inside the school?
Not inside the education center. It's just like I said, that 2-gym system in the RJS Center, and there's squash courts and a bunch of other. It's a beautiful facility.
Yeah, and are you as a student allowed to just go there and can you rent stuff out or?
I'm not sure about renting stuff out, but we do have access as a student to go into the workout gym sometimes up there, and I believe there's intramurals and whatnot run out of there.
So one of the big things that happened on Saturday was Baseball Day in the Bay. Another big success for Jacob Brown and his team that put that on. An estimated 1,700 pounds, which is an insane amount, was donated to the North Bay Food Bank. Dalton Pompey was there. I caught a little bit of the action from the 12 o'clock game between Asante and Eastside. It was raining It didn't look very good. There weren't a lot of people around. Like, there were definitely people in the stands on the other side, but it did clear up later on in the day. I was running around doing some other stuff, but I got a little bit of footage there. Chris Mong had some great footage that he posted on Facebook. There was this grand slam that was hit in one of the games, the banana ball game, which was the highlight at 8 o'clock, and it seemed like it was a really good day, and that's got to be so much work to put on.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a huge production. I was also unable to make it there, but I heard from a few different groups like Minor Girls Softball and the North Bay Youth like boys baseball that it was a huge effort and it looked like it went well.
Yeah, they had games all day through. I think they had a couple of 9U games and 11U, some of the young kids, and then they had a couple of men's league games as well. Lou Dogs was there, so Lou Dogs, of course, is reopening, which is big. We kind of had it was kind of funny because in our softball league that we played in, there was a Lou Dogs team, and so when Lou Dogs closed, we were they were a little astray a little bit.
Yeah, they were
without a sponsor. Yeah.
Yeah, a little lost almost.
They ended up winning the league though.
Yeah,
they had a strong team.
Yep. They looked past it. They looked past it.
But
sure.
It'll be great to have it reopen. Obviously, it's a huge part of the downtown, what it does with live music and everything that's going on. But yeah, they were there giving away, I believe it was free food the whole day. It's just a great community piece.
Absolutely. And especially with the North Bay Panthers rebrand, I would say recently from the Stingers to the Panthers, it's been huge for North Bay and even Canada to just represent that and build that as they have now U9, U11, U13, and even the U18 team this year being the rep ball team.
And I know Paul and his team through the North Bay Baseball Association, also a big part of that as well. He's running all over the place right now, very busy guy. And he was talking about like he wasn't able to be there on the weekend, but a couple of Sportscasts ago he was talking about that too, right? The just the amount of work that has to go into putting that kind of thing on. And Jacob's very busy to be able to do that.
I just sort of dove deeper into Jacob's resume, and he's doing fantastic things in the community and in the minor hockey community as well. It's a huge props
NOHA
to him.
Director, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that was the exact title, yep.
Yeah, that's like huge for him, huge for North Bay, huge for the programs in North Bay, so I'm really glad to see it.
Yeah, it's interesting because I used to play baseball with him way back, when it was, I don't think we played on the same team, but, when I was umpiring and stuff. So it's neat to see some of these people who were in those kind of house league or people you knew just from the sports scene in general when you're young, and then you see them older, and that's when you know that you're becoming an adult, is when you start seeing your friends have kids and have be married and do these things in the community, and in your mind you still think of them as that like teenager or whoever. It's going to happen to you, don't worry.
Yeah, those milestones, and you still look at them as that guy who tripped over second base that time or something, yeah.
Yeah, and then you see them, and you need those people. Like, you need to have people who can take the mantle from some of the people who are as people get older, they're not able to do as much. Like, you think of the people who are huge in the community, like the Larry Tugases of the world, the Craig Simpsons, like these people who were huge pieces of the were huge parts of their respective sports and what they did. You need those people who are stepping up, who are younger and able to hold that mantle for 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you can only have the Larry Tugases of the world and stuff like that for so long, and then even the game and the sport changes. Like, whether the community or the city changes is one thing, but the sport itself will also change, and I think Jacob's a great guy to do that, to hold that mantle.
Well, we still have we're still waiting for NDA, because you're pretty connected with the NDA. You used to play in the good old NDA a few years ago.
Yeah,
not that far removed.
No, not that far removed. I was involved in a number of the sports like basketball and volleyball, and then and the hockey, and then played sports like badminton and baseball in the NDA. And so I'm looking forward to it starting back up and to cover it.
And it's coming up very soon. So we're still trying to get schedules sorted out. We got the senior schedule. So again, tonight you'll see Ferris versus Algonquin. They're playing. I believe the next night, like Friday, it's going to be in the afternoon at Ferris. I believe they play Schollard at Ferris. Don't quote me on that. But we do have that schedule. I'm still waiting on the junior schedule as well. And I believe you have a little bit of insider info on some of the basketball.
Yeah, the girls for both junior and senior basketball schedules in the works. I think it's pretty close to done. I got the first draft, so pretty close to done.
Yeah, so we're probably like a week or two away.
Yeah.
But it's going to be exciting to get some of that footage as well, and watch kind of as the teams go on. Like it was a really good year. It's girls basketball. I believe it was Algonquin who won that as well, if I remember that correctly.
Yeah.
I didn't come super prepared with some of the winners. I'm really trying to go off memory here because it was them, and because they won. And then for boys volleyball,
it was Chippewa.
It was Chippewa. That's right. Do you have any insider? Because you were a Chippewa grad.
Yeah.
What's the insider info on the boys volleyball this year?
So boys volleyball, Chippewa, similar to the football around in Algonquin, is very much a program. We have lots of young men, I guess, come over for volleyball, and in the last few years, we had some big moments and some big results. I think we've won 4 out of the last 5 years, the banner, and in 2021 we took OFSA gold. So it's something that develops right in grade 7 and 8 for Chippewa students, especially young men, that like you get to be there one day. You train hard and you commit to the program to be and win that senior banner. And
there were some big names. Carter Thibodeau was one of those guys who was multi-sport in both hockey and volleyball.
Yeah.
Is he coming back?
He is done. He victory lapped last year, but he is a great example. Vaughn Thompson is my age, so my class of 2023. He was a huge multi-sport athlete for Chippewa.
Yeah. So who are the people to watch for this year?
This year, I would look at some of our seniors, like Soren Gibson, I believe is going to be the starting setter this year. Charlie Smith and Cooper Jackson are 2 incredible, almost freak multi-sport athletes in basketball and volleyball.
Cool. Anything on the girls' basketball side? Yeah,
my younger sister is in grade 12 this year for the senior girls basketball team.
Nice.
She's a leader on that team and plays in the with the Spartans as well for the club.
Yep.
So they are looking. They've got a good group of girls going into grade 12. Their program in the last 2 or 3 years was a bit of a rebuild, but last year they fought hard against Schollard and Algonquin, which were the top tier teams, and this year they're looking to put it all together.
Well, it's going to be a good season.
Yeah,
I think it's good to have it back. Number one for content because we get through the lull of the summer a little bit, and there's still a lot going on, but it tends to be a lot of the same repetitive sports. So it's good to get kind of a mix across country starting. A lot of fun stuff, of course, like the college and university. So a lot of great stuff that is coming up. Jackson, you survived your very first Sportscast. How was it?
I loved it.
That's a strong word. Love is a strong word.
It is, but it's true. I enjoy the conversation and the banter, and I enjoy reporting on sports, which I'm passionate about, and connecting with people and like connecting with guys like Jason and guys like you, Ben, and it's fantastic to talk about.
Well, it was a great show. Got a lot of stuff there. I'm hoping to get something similar for next week. We're gonna have a lot. I know I'm gonna for sure get some men's soccer that's happening on the weekend. We'll have the football, and then once we get basketball, volleyball going, we'll be kind of cycling in sports in and out, which is going to be super exciting. If you have any sports that are coming across your plate, whether it's club, varsity, if it's NDA, if it's high school, whatever, university, whatever it is, you can send anything over to me at ben@northbayecho.ca. Any schedules, results, anything like that, anything you want to cover, just send it my way, and we'll do our best to try to cover as much as we can.
Yeah, the more content you have or we have, the more coverage we can provide.
Well, that was the Echo Sportscast number 52. I'm Ben Sargent.
I'm Jackson Bull.
Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and we will see you back next week.